So there's no question that global demand has come back very strongly. We are benefiting from that, no doubt about it. And also there is the fact that global supply chains are slowly redeveloping themselves, so to speak, for a new geopolitical environment. And so we have seen many things. For example, the very strong FDI numbers that we have been seeing for quite some time. By the way, the numbers you're speaking about are only the merchandise numbers. Even the services trade has also been very strong. So both services and merchandise trade has been strong. As I said, part of it is because of geopolitical reorientation. There is China plus one and all these kinds of factors. There is the redevelopment, reemergence of global demand, which has come out quite strongly. There is FDI flows, which means that we are slowly but steadily becoming much more integrated in global supply chains, which we were not. So there are multiple factors. The question is, will it be sustained? Now, the global demand reinflation will go on for a little while longer, but of course, very difficult to predict how that will pan out. I think the redistribution and reorientation of global supply chains may be a longer term and more reliable dynamic. And that is there now in the thinking of most global companies. And you saw that even in the G7 communiques and so on. There is now even a new US-led initiative to have a Belt and Road initiative from the US. So you can clearly see the reorientation. And yes, as part of that, we hope to take advantage of it. Obviously, we cannot, it will not happen naturally. We have to actively go out there and participate in it. But we are cognizant of the opportunity. And of course, this is what the PLI scheme is all about. This is, explicitly to take advantage of new emerging systems. The other good thing that we need to take advantage of, and we have to be conscious about doing this, is to take advantage of the fact that we now are finally, thanks to GST, a common market internally. We were never a large common market, and therefore we could never take advantage of global scale by taking advantage of our home market. We can now do this. And so this is actually an important aspect of the global supply chain that we can now finally take advantage of, and we should take advantage of it. And I think there are other factors as well. For example, we need to be able to both push for open trade, both at the WTO, but also at our own level through making deals with large markets. Very often people look at our reluctance to join RCEP as some sort of a reluctance to participate in global trading blocs. That is actually wrong. We did not participate in RCEP because it did not work for us. It wasn't in our national interest. It was not an ideological problem with joining trading blocs. We recognize that India's future lies in being a serious participant in global trade and being a participant in global supply chain. It just was that particular trade deal didn't work for us. That does not mean that we will not explore trade deals with other large markets. So my thing is that first and foremost, you've got to get the economy going and not take your eye off the fact that we need growth. I'm not a big votary of this argument that there is some sort of a growth versus employment trade-off. There isn't one. Even the informal sector ultimately depends on growth and the demand coming back. You've got to open up as much of the economy as possible, which of course means that we have to take care of various health-related infrastructure as soon as possible, vaccination and all those kinds of things. And we've got to get the economy up and running. There is no amount of schemes is going to, compensate for the fact if, say, the restaurants are not open, the hotels are not open, the airlines are not functioning at full tilt, and of course people are, colleges, hospitals, everything is not functioning at full tilt. Only then we can go back and looking at where maybe the so-called trickle down is not happening, and then we can try and fix those areas. But we've got to get this economy up and running and going. Secondly, we've got to persist with supply side measures and continue to open out various sectors, which for a variety of reasons continue to be unnecessarily held down by government regulation. In the last 1 year, we have done a lot of these things. You saw opening up, for example, of the geospatial and cartography sector. You saw the removal of all kinds of outdated bureaucratic hurdles placed by telecom regulations on the BPO ITES sector, which we removed completely. and some more changes need to be done on that, and we are happy to do that. There may be completely new sectors, for example, like drones, that need to be opened up further, and maybe completely new sectors we don't know about. But if there are sectors where outdated regulations are getting in the way of innovation and expansion, please let us know. We are very, very open to looking at them and rethinking it from scratch.